Okay, hey, yeah, the Canadian-izer. um, so yeah, this is was something I made over the last Christmas holidays. I had a couple of weeks, so I decided, hey, I've been working a lot with AI, and I really wanted to see what can this thing actually do, and I wanted it to give, I wanted to work in a new a new language environment, that I haven't worked with a lot. I mean, I'm mainly a web developer. I'm the PHP, JavaScript guy, that sort of thing. Um, but working with Tailwind and React is something that, I hadn't had much time to do. So with AI, I wanted to see, can I learn and build a full-fledged React app. And again, this is the very first React app I have ever built, and from scratch anyway, with AI. And it's an interesting little project. So here, just now, I'll turn on the microphone. Okay, so this is, just the website, the default, the free. You can do whatever you want with it. I'll turn the trigger level down. I'll turn down the mic gain. So yeah, I had to explain to the AI all these controls, how they all worked, and test and test and test and test and test. So yeah, over a couple of weeks. I mean, it came together in a couple of days. But then I started adding more and more and more and more, as you do, more and more features, full on, different capabilities. I mean, this is just a fun little project that I made. There's so much more that can be done, but again, this is a toy, so to speak. Basically, there's a little story. There's a story with it, like a boot. It was built because, one of the kids has been asking me for this, and I'm like, I can build it. I know how to build it. I know what it needs to do, and I've done animation before, and I've worked with Canvas before, but yeah, I built this as a front-end application. So this entire application just loads from a JavaScript and a CSS file. Tailwind, and React, it's excellent, but it has its limitations. I do a lot of WordPress development, a lot of custom software development for WordPress, because it's just such a clean, simple, repeatable platform. It has everything I need. I'll probably do another video just talking about why I do my rapid prototyping, on WordPress, and also why, it just seems to work for a lot of different scenarios really easily, and it's extremely portable. Anyway, that's another video. But hey, this is the thing. So yeah, you can pretty much, build whatever you want, out of it. And I just kept adding more and more and more to it. I made it so you could stack hair together, which gave you some different options and whatnot. But yeah, the controls, what's really great about the Tailwind is that all these controls, they're fairly standard. So you have a standard, this is a slider, this is how the buttons work, this is, these systems are kind of, you don't have to build them from scratch, they're reusable. As long as you're keeping your my biggest reason why I never went to these compiled JavaScript apps is because the security of your system is completely dependent on other people being secure. And we know how that goes. I mean, look, huge security holes are coming up, with the advent of AI, searching, but also with AI being used like this. But anyhow, it was pretty fun making it. But the trick here was also that I wanted to be able to have a user login system. So you can download and save your, hang on, let me just fix the ears. Like I'm like, hey, I'll add the ears. The ears have to be able to be fully adjustable as well. So there's all of these, space between was something that, I had to come up with. The jittering of the head, you can control the, talking tilt and, the head rotation, animation, easing and outing, just to smooth it out, reduce or increase the mouth flap, really, that sort of thing. So it took a lot of experimenting. So you can create your own sort of, avatar. But yeah, I'll show you the login. So, loads my default green screen background. I'll turn on the microphone. Okay. So most of the systems are change that, make it a little bit easier. There we go. It's a little bit smoother. Whatever. It's a fun toy. But it's also like I don't want to. I wanted to start making videos, just to log some of the stuff that I do, and also to vent and talk tech, because no one in my family is talk tech, and I work from home, so I don't get out to many of the industry meets. So you got to talk tech, and talking to myself is fine. But yeah, so this doubled as a self-avatar system, as well as something that the boys had been asking for, and I'm like, I know I can build it, and I did. So this you can save and load the profiles. It has a profile manager, and so you're just playing around with different if I want to load Jimbo, there's Jimbo. Reminds me of a friend I used to have, and I like the idea that you can create whatever. I've spent a bit of time making profiles. You set your default, so all of this functionality, I had to. It needs work. Of course, this isn't a final thing, but I let people, you can use it free, of course, and download and upload. But I'm like, hey, if you want to store stuff, I mean, it'd be nice to get a bit of support. So, if you wanted to sign up, it's like $5 a year, to get an account. And that just helps pay for the server and whatnot. It works, turn on the microphone. It will ask you for permission to use the mic and that sort of thing. And it's great for, let's say I want to, I'll turn on the, if I can find it, I got too many rows here. There's my Canadian-izer setup, running inside the OBS studio screen capture. So it has this background here. So, if you are green screening, you can have it run transparent, and change the background color. Because I have the actual bottom left one in another window with a green screen, you can see that the green screen allows it to overlay. So it's a fun little tool. But again, this is just an example of how transferable the AI makes skills. I've been developing software most of my life. I mean, since I was 10. So it's just like this way to be able to explain what you want, understand the technology, and understand how the technology is used, and you can easily build anything you want. So programming language is no longer a barrier. If somebody goes, hey, you got to know React in order to work for us, it's like, sure. If people are still thinking that you have to have, it depends on what software you're building, of course. If you're in an enterprise level, or just like serious software, you're gonna need those people that can go over every line of code and debug the problems. But the AI debug is so good at the moment. But again, if you you need 100% verification, like NASA level programming or enterprise level programming, where you're in environments where you don't even trust your own users. You're going to need those skills, or use alternative, technologies or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I have every confidence now, and I've been building more and more React front end or Python or anything that you need. It's a whole new world out there. It's a whole new ball game, and it's been that way for a couple of years. And anyone who's not pivoting in their development, the opportunities are there. But again, it's at 98% good, 2% bad, and you can, as long as your software is reliable and you can rapidly fix any problems. Yeah, this is the future. Anyhow, the Canadian-izer. it had to be made. It just had to be made. All right, it's JONNO here, signing off. Like and subscribe this. Get your free one, your free Canadian avatar, if you want. It's silly, it's fun. But again, I'm going to be using this instead of, my own head. It looks sort of like me. An idealized version of me anyway. Have a good one, people. Like, subscribe, and ask some questions. Show me your stuff. Link your crazy programs or tools that you've made. So this is one of the few just for fun programs I wrote with AI, of course. But yeah, I'll be putting up more and more. I've got over 70 tools at the moment, so I'm going to showcase each one, or each, even some tools have like 20 tools inside them. So I'll be showcasing each of those, and I'll try to keep the videos short. Thanks a lot. All feedback's appreciated. Have a good one. Settings easily.